and welcome back to another video. So in this video we will dive deeper into mood board and project direction stuff. So first thing first, we need to create our page, or in this case we are going to rename this page to the mood board and maybe project direction, to implement our pictures from the internet. In this case we are going to use dribble.com. It's an amazing platform or website to explore different kinds of the designs. And in our project, we are going to create social media application. Okay, so let's rename this page to moodboard. Okay, and how we are going to place those pictures in our Figma file. Basically, we will just go to our web browser and we are going to go to the dribble.com. Okay, now since we are making the social media application, we need some applications to look like our project that we are going to present to the client or work with the client. For example, in this case, the client wants something similar to the Instagram, okay? So we are going to need some stories and posts of Instagram, maybe messages, settings, login informations, profile, and etc. Okay, and for those kinds of stuff, and usually what colors work the best and etc., it's usually blue color. For it's just default stuff to implement in your project. So what we can do is go into this search bar and type, for example, social media. Okay, and now what we can see here is to maybe copy some designs or see what's interesting to us. For example, what we can do is maybe create the interface that has some dark colors and maybe some dark blues and whites as well, so we can combine them into our interfaces. So for example, what we can do is just see from interface to interface what interests us, what not. Maybe something that you would like to implement in your interface, because I'm just providing you the guidance. You can always implement your own ideas with my way of teaching. So for example, this design looks kind of great, and we can see maybe that profile type of way, or maybe this chat is amazing. We also need to see how we are going to add our navigation bar on the bottom. So for example, let's copy this picture, right click and copy our image, go back to the Figma, paste it with Command V or Control V, depending on your operating system that you are using. I'm using the macOS, so I'm going to use the command most of the time, Command C or Command V, Command X to cut, and etc. Okay, so what we can do is maybe copy around 10 different pictures in our interface and see what can work the best for us. In this case, I can go down below and see maybe what's interesting. In this case, let's check it. Maybe what we can do is as well, not maybe copy from this one. There's so many stuff to copy from and see, maybe to get some ideas. Maybe we can literally type Instagram, and now we are going to see maybe some other stuff and maybe some Instagram redesigns and etc. we can maybe implement into our project. For example, maybe this one we can copy this. The icons are interesting to me. When you're building out the mood board, it doesn't really need to have every single element for you to be perfect. For example, I would not showcase the stories with this type of design, but maybe icons are interesting, or maybe the font is, and choice of the colors through the interface that some person designed is also nice. So we can copy that into our project and maybe just place them around, move them as you like. So for example, let's go and see what else we can find. For example, this one looks kind of interesting. Let's see this down below. Okay, maybe this is nice. maybe something like that we can implement into our logging or getting started screens. So we can copy that as well, maybe enlarge it. And now I will be back when I get the pictures that I want for this kind of interface. So I will be back really soon. So I added few other pictures and I want to go over them to maybe talk about what I like about those shots. For example, let's go with this one. This one is great direction. A lot of those stuff that you are going to see on Dribble and other online websites for maybe some examples or mockups that you want to see for your design, usually they don't translate really well when someone goes and develops that, or it doesn't really translate with the design language of the system, operating system that you're going to design for. So mostly those stuff can just be inspiration to properly design something. For example, in this case, like this hovering navigation bar is okay stuff, but when we go and see maybe this curved thing right here, it doesn't really serve any purpose. Maybe when you scroll it, you are going to see that white card element go up, but I don't think like that should look good, or it's going to look good when you really try to use it. And especially it doesn't really translate well with maybe iOS design language. So the way that we are going to design our stuff are going to be in that iOS element with the iOS elements, and we are going to properly follow whole Apple principles. So for example, this one is really beautiful, even though it got some crazy stuff going around through the interface. It does look really, really clean and slick. For example, this one is really great as well. Maybe this login screen is what we need. For example, this one, it's just clean, great use of colors. Maybe this blue color as well is really nice, and maybe some icons are solid. In this case, I really like this login screen as well. Maybe not so much the usage of the color. For example, this is not maybe the best designed interface that you will find on this application, but some of the elements we can maybe try to be inspired. So yeah, I really like those kind of pictures that I choose. Some of them got some flaws, some of them are great in some terms. So we will try to combine all of those stuff into our project. But before all that, we need to go through the iOS library and show you real life examples.